Hey guys, Will here. I'm going to go through the markets and sectors, and then if you want to drill down to stocks from the strong sectors, as usual, you can do that. I'm using TC2000 here, which is a great program for charts and watch lists. And if you want to get a free trial or $25 off purchase, check out the link in the description below. Right now we're in the pre-market, so it's another nice feature at the top of TC2000. And you can see down here it says 8:14 a.m. So that's showing you that it's pre-market. If you go down to like 10-minute charts, you can see a gray area, and that's showing you the pre-market. If you want to see that, you can turn it off as well with this drop down and say show data for regular hours if you don't want to see that. So as you can see with this NASDAQ, I've drawn this downward channel. And we sometimes we hit off it, come back down, we're starting to come back up again. There's a 50-day and obviously the trend line up here below the 200 and the 50. So you can see that we're up this morning 1.6% as of 8:14 in the morning before the market opens at 9:30. So on a daily chart, you'll see these green Heikin-Ashi candles. So that's there's a bit of an uptrend, kind of similar to here. We don't really know how far it's going to go. Like these ones, kind of bounced off the 200-day. So this one, would probably make it to the 50, or that's the intended target. So there's not a great scenario here. You can also, I like to go to the weekly chart, zoom out a bit, and you can see that there is a bit of a bounce from the low here. And I also look at momentum, and you see how we didn't quite cross up here. Once you get down like quite below zero, the price percent oscillator, you're in a very negative low momentum period, but you can potentially get a, buy the dip, so to speak. But to confirm and wait a little bit longer, there's you get up above the zero line and even cross the moving average here. So you can take advantage of daily charts in a shorter term trading scenario, or even less than daily. If you wanted to, you can go down to hourly or whatever. But so let's move on to the next. S&P, same sort of scenario. It's very close to the 50, but we had a bit of a bounce when we broke this downtrend here. So for longer term, we look at weekly, and also we want to see higher lows here established. So, and it'd be nice to get up above the 50 and all that. There's a lot of resistance up here. People that have purchased up here, and once it gets up, they might sell to get, just to get out, break even or whatever, minimize their losses. So, but if we go to a weekly chart, I'll turn off the drawings here. You saw this little recovery here, but it didn't sustain at the 50, and there's a little bit of a gain here, but we're still quite low, and we haven't crossed, and the momentum is definitely downward. So we have some work to do to get out of that scenario. They're all kind of similar scenarios. This one's right at the 50. So we've had a pullback here. We got really low in the momentum. You can see how we tend to recover. So you can play these little bounces, and then you have to see if it really continues on and gets up above the 50 and the 200 and stuff like that. And Dow Jones, same sort of scenario, right? We're just about at the 50-day, but there has been a recovery, so we'll have to see how long that goes. But we're in this downtrend channel here. So we had a channel, we broke it down, we bounced off that channel, and we'll see how far we get. Here we didn't get quite up to the top, we got up to 200. Here we bounced a couple times down off the 50. So there's a lot of resistance up here, but we shall see. So from here, what I do is I look at sectors. So a couple things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to look at the general sectors that, for the main sectors, and then I'll show you all the ETFs that I have. So that's the nice thing about TC2000. So a couple things I'm going to mention with TC2000 again is that there's all these tabs at the bottom of the window here, and I've got one called Heikin-Ashi Sectors, and you can click on that tab. So you have all these different looks. You have fundamentals. You have, like, if you want to look at fundamentals like financials, there's tabs for that. You can have charts with different scenarios where you don't have all this, all the moving averages, just the basic price action. So I call that the naked chart. like this one, I'll click on it just to show you. So naked chart, I just draw some trend lines. There's no moving averages or anything like that. It can be nice to look at that. So anyway, this one is Heiken Ashi sector. So I put multi-window here. It's another feature. You don't have to just have one window. And these are the spider select sectors. So you've got energy, financials, staples, industrial, healthcare, utilities, consumer discretionary, technology, real estate. It's not every single one. There's a couple other ones, but this gives you the bulk of them. So if you look at this daily chart, you'll see that there are some recoveries down here, green dots. Utilities is looking above the 50. Green candles, it's looking a little stronger than the other ones that are still below the 50. And obviously the best one is the energy. If we go to weekly, that shows a bit stronger, longer term. And the only one that has the green, really nice uptrend, obviously, is the energy. But it's quite high. It's up quite a bit. So some people are trying to get the dips, by the low point. So we've got some bounces off of recent lows here. But it's not enough to overcome, the downward momentum. So we'll have to see. So that gives you a good sense when you click on this. Okay, energy is really where I want to focus. Some other people might want to buy dips and use the recent lows as a stop. But from there, that gives you a sense. And you could click on this. Well, I'm going to go back to the other one. But once you see the energy sector, say, for example, you can click on this component watch list and it shows you all the stocks. And it's really nice because then you can click on any of these and get to the chart right away. So I've got some various criteria here. So Occidental, for example, nice weekly chart, so you could buy those as well. Some of these have dividends and stuff like that, so you could pick those up. And then you can sort by, like I've got it sorted by 30-day or 5-day to see what recent strength. EOG, it's got a good 90-day record as well. So you see a lot of green in these 30-day, 90-day, 5-day charts, which is a good sign that this is a strong sector. Chevron, stuff like that. Obviously, oil's been up a lot, so, have to see how far we get with this, but we're quite a ways up off the 50-day, but still in an uptrend. So anyway, another thing with TC2000 is that you've got all these tabs, and there's a lot of data in here, different sectors, different scans, all in a short space here. So if I click on sector ETFs, these are ones that I've found myself. They're actually not just the main spider ones, but various specific ones like ARC and China, K-Web, Internet, solar, stuff like that. That isn't in those main sectors. Silver, like resources, commodities, all that stuff. So as I find ETFs that I liked in the States, in this one, this is US, I add them to a watch list. So if you want to get TC2000, check out the link in the description. You get a free trial or $25 off your subscription. I have a gold plan and I have a gold membership, and I also have real-time data, US real-time data, so I see without a delay in the data. So pre-market data can be a little bit deceiving or tricky because it doesn't necessarily last into the market when it opens, but it does give you some sense sometimes of where the excitement is, what's happening. So Bitcoin, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is pretty flat, and there's a bit of a potential for it to break out of this spot. We can see the momentum's crossing up here. And Ethereum is the same, or not as good, but similar. But you can see from the percentage gains over 90 days that Ethereum went down 59% in 90 days and Bitcoin only went down 21%, this ETF, or this is a trust. And then for 30 days, Ethereum went down 72. So there's a lot more strength in the Bitcoin. And then for the 5-day, Bitcoin's up 9.7 and Ethereum's only up 4.8. So as of late, Bitcoin has been relatively stronger than the other one. So what happens a lot of times when the markets go down is that the other stocks, the other cryptos all go down more than Bitcoin, because there's a beta there, which is kind of funny. But in terms of crypto being fairly volatile, is Bitcoin is generally doesn't go down as much. But a lot of times people play the other side. When things go up, when crypto's really booming, then the altcoins will go up a lot more. So like I said, if you sort by change, it can be deceiving, because you're just seeing the morning, current pre-market percentages, and they can change pretty drastically. So that's where you can sort in other ways by scanning, or you can sort with some of these things that I've created. So if I want to see ETFs that are above their weekly V-stop, the volatility stop, which is these green dots, I click on this and I can see ones that are fairly strong. So I'm gonna have to go to the weekly to see that. So this one, wheat, is pulling back here, but on the daily there's a bit of a downtrend here. So what I would do is, because it's strong on the weekly and the monthly, I'm waiting for this pullback, and then hopefully it'll start to come back up again. But it has been generally flat for quite some time, since March, April-ish. Like I said earlier, the oil, so XLE is one type of ETF, but then there's the oil services, which is oil services and exploration, XOP, have been doing really well, because they, there's a need for more exploration. And the services go along with that. So basically, it's possible that these things will be, if you notice that these things do better, you could focus on those instead of the general XLE chart. Like if you look right here at XLE, it's 27, and this went up 35 in 90 days. In 30 days, it went up 18 versus 15. And in 5 days, XOP was up 3.5 versus 1.68. So it's possible that XOP will be, exceeding XLE over time. For longer term, you can sort by 90 days. Gasoline, natural gas, XOP, wheat. Commodities is GSG. XLE, OIH, that's oil again. DBC is another commodity tracking. XME are metals and mining. So those are 90 days, and that can obviously change. Like by the time you're looking at it, it could be in a downtrend. So that's where you look at the shorter 30-day durations, which you start getting into some tech and some lithium. KWEB is China. So you have a breakout above the 50 here, and you're starting to get up above the zero line in momentum. So that's one. You can look at the weekly chart, and it's way down in the momentum, but it's starting to curl around. Now you had a little bit of a similar situation over here, and it never got very far. So obviously, like I said, when it's not above zero, you're in a riskier situation. But the daily gives you a shorter term, potentially, like to head to the 200 or something like that. But lithium as well has been a little bit strong lately. Platinum and palladium, or this one's platinum. Same sort of scenario, breakout over above the 50 and the 200. So some of these are starting to peak, perk up a bit. China again, iClean, that's like the alternative energy. TAN has been coming up. If I sort by 5 days, yeah, we'll see TAN up here. So, obviously we're right at a 200-day moving average right now, and we're in this kind of downward channel. But so we'll see here, bounce off the 200 here. So a good strategy is to wait for a pullback and buy on a bounce off of a pullback. So you have a recent low to buy, to put your stop loss around there, just below there, instead of like this has been in a good strong daily uptrend. So it's, we're hit the 200, so that's a little bit of a risky spot. And getting up here near this trend line is also would be a riskier spot to get into. So you see how it double bottomed sort of thing here. Anyway, I think that's about it for now. So we'll catch you in the next video. Talk to you later.